The opposite of success is not failure. The opposite of success is giving up too early. Well, good morning, brothers and sisters. Happy Friday and welcome to Mission Zero. If this is your first time joining us, thank you so much for watching, and feel free to take your lunch break today to binge everything we have. My name is Shawn, and this is FlashBack Friday, the show where we take stories from the past and apply them to the present to create a better future. So the story we're going to talk about today comes from the book of Genesis, and it's the love story of Jacob and Rachel. Okay, so to give you some background of where I'm going to drop you in the book of Genesis, Abraham and Sarah have had their child Isaac. Isaac has grown up and married a woman named Rebecca, and Isaac and Rebecca have a son, Jacob. Now, Jacob grows to be a man in the land of Canaan. Isaac, on his deathbed, says, "Son, I want you to go have a wife, but do not take a Canaanite woman. Go back to the land of my fathers and find a wife from your mother's brother, Laban." So Jacob does exactly that. He goes back to the land of their fathers and he finds a worker in the field and says, "Do you know a man named Laban?" And this man says, "Well, yeah, I actually work for him, and here comes his daughter Rachel." And in true rom-com fashion, the heavens part, time slows down, and her hair slowly blows in the breeze as he sees the beautiful young Rachel. So he follows with this worker and Rachel to meet his uncle Laban. And he says, "I am Rebecca's son, and I have been sent to get a wife, and I will serve you for 7 years if you will give me the hand of your daughter Rachel." And so Laban says, "Sure, I'll give you my daughter for 7 years of labor." And so Genesis 29 verse 20 says, "And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and it seemed but a day." And don't we all know what that's like, right? The passion you have to go get your goal, to go find your purpose, to work towards your purpose. You can spit out years working for that, and it's like a moment has passed. So Laban holds a big party to see Jacob off because he has served his 7 years. And at this party, he gives to Jacob the hand of his daughter, Leah. And Jacob says, no, I worked for you for 7 years for Rachel." And Laban says, "It would be wrong for me to give away the hand of my youngest daughter before my eldest daughter. If you want Rachel's hand, you're gonna have to serve 7 more years." And don't we all know what that's like, right? That you bust your butt and you work your heart out for something, for some reward or something that you will attain, and you get there and you get, "I'm sorry, Mario, but Princess Peach is in another castle." So Jacob does it. He works his guts out for 7 more years for Laban, and at the end of it, Laban, sure enough, gives Jacob the hand of his daughter Rachel. But then he says, "You can't quite leave yet. I need you to keep working for me." And this is where we really start to identify with the story, isn't it? Right? Because you don't just find out Princess Peach is in another castle, you go through another 10 levels and find out she's still in another castle. And I love this story for a couple of reasons. One is that it does ultimately work out for Jacob and Rachel, and they have a beautiful marriage. And in fact, between his wife Leah and his wife Rachel, he ends up fathering the men who lead the 12 tribes of Israel. And so certainly Jacob gets his in the end, and that's a fantastic thing. But the other reason that I love this story is think about the passion that Jacob had to have, the dedication. He wasn't just going after the beautiful young Rachel. He was going after his purpose, his destiny, and he was not going to let it go. And I think that is such a powerful lesson for us, because we tend in this instant gratification society to sort of give up the moment something becomes really hard. And we just can't do that. 21 years. 21 years. Jacob ends up working for this man, and in that time he builds up a family, he builds up wealth of cattle, he builds up power and influence, right? The destiny that Jacob traded that 21 years for was that we speak his name today. We remember him. We name our children after him. This was not just some exercise in futility that he was working towards. This was real work towards his purpose. And we need to do the very same thing, or at least be willing to. And so that is my exhortation for us for this weekend, and to wrap up this week talking about change, is sometimes you want a circumstance to change and it just don't seem like it's changing. You need to push through that. Don't allow setbacks to become roadblocks. So take this, be the you-iest you can be, and may God pour out the blessings of persistence and drive and dedication. And I love you so much. Peace out.